It's the year 1453. The city of Constantinople has just fallen. The mighty Ottoman Empire is on the rise, and Europe is trembling. But in the mountains of what is now Romania, a new storm is brewing. A young prince is about to rise. Not just a ruler, but a terror. A name that will strike fear for centuries to come. He's known by many names: Vlad III, Vlad Dracula, Vlad Țepeș, the Impaler, the real-life Dracula. Was he a hero, a monster, or both? This is the twisted, bloody, unforgettable story of Vlad the Impaler. Vlad III was born in 1431 in the fortress town of Sighișoara in Transylvania. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the Secret Order of the Dragon, a group sworn to protect Christianity from the Ottomans. That's where the name Dracula comes from. Dracul means dragon in Old Romanian. Dracula means son of the dragon. But Vlad's childhood was far from a fairy tale. At just 11 years old, Vlad and his younger brother Radu were taken hostage by the Ottoman Empire. They were held for years in the court of the Sultan, taught Turkish, tactics, and politics. But Vlad was not like his brother. While Radu grew close to the Ottomans, Vlad grew cold and angry. The years of imprisonment shaped him into something else, something fierce. When he returned to his homeland years later, he wasn't a boy anymore. He was a wolf among sheep. The region of Wallachia, where Vlad was from, was in chaos. Lords, called boyars, fought for control. Assassinations were common, treachery was everywhere. Vlad had to fight, literally, to take the throne. And he did. In 1456, at the age of 25, Vlad became Voivode of Wallachia, the ruler of a fractured land on the edge of empires. But he wasn't going to rule like the others. No more bribes, no more betrayal. Vlad ruled with iron and fire. He executed corrupt nobles, hunted down enemies, and most infamously, he impaled his victims. Long wooden stakes, sharpened at one end, driven slowly through the body until death. Horrifying. Absolutely. But to Vlad, it was justice. Why impalement? Because fear is power. Vlad understood that better than anyone, and he used it like a sword. He impaled thousands of enemies, soldiers, criminals, even rival nobles. He left their bodies on display for all to see. His message was clear: obey or suffer. The most infamous moment, the night attack at Târgoviște in 1462. The mighty Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, fresh from conquering Constantinople, marched toward Vlad with an army of over 90,000 men. Vlad had only 15,000. So what did he do? He burned his own villages, poisoned wells, starved the land, and then he launched a surprise night raid straight into the heart of the Ottoman camp, nearly killing the Sultan himself. When Mehmed finally reached the capital, he stopped dead in his tracks. Before him stood a forest of the dead, over 20,000 impaled corpses rotting under the sun. Even the Sultan, conqueror of cities, turned back. To some, Vlad was a hero, a protector of his people, a man who dared to fight back against a superpower. To others, he was a monster, a cruel tyrant who took pleasure in suffering. But the truth, it depends on who's telling the story. In Romanian folklore, he's seen as a defender of justice, a ruler who punished the wicked, no matter their rank. But in German and Ottoman writings, Vlad is described as a madman. Stories tell of him drinking the blood of his victims, dining among impaled bodies, even nailing turbans to the heads of Ottoman envoys who refused to remove them. Are all of these true? Probably not. Many were exaggerated or made up entirely by his enemies to ruin his reputation. But even so, Vlad didn't seem to care. He wanted to be feared, and he succeeded. Vlad's reign was brutal and brief. After years of war, betrayal, and political intrigue, he was captured and imprisoned by the Hungarians. He spent over a decade in captivity, only to return for a short third reign. But in 1476, Vlad the Impaler was killed in battle. Some say it was the Turks. Others say his own men betrayed him. His head was cut off and sent to the Sultan in Constantinople, proof that the monster was dead. But his legend, that would never die. Vlad the Impaler became more than a man. He became a symbol. Centuries later, his name inspired Bram Stoker's legendary vampire novel, Dracula. The blood-sucking count, the dark castle, the bats, all rooted in the myth of Vlad. But the real story, no fangs, no immortality, just a man who lived in a brutal time and chose brutal means to survive it. So, was Vlad a monster, or was he just a product of a violent world? Whatever you believe, one thing is certain: you don't get a nickname like the Impaler by accident. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, give us a like, subscribe for more stories from the past, and tell us in the comments, do you think Vlad was a hero or a villain?